Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to FF episode 2000. What is it? 2058? Man.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I need a microphone that don't drive me crazy. Welcome to the show today.
Burger Master.
We're going to cover nothing, just so you know.
Awesome.
But we've done an episode 2058, so we're going to be feeling proud about that right now. And, oh my, look at this. It's Cafe Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on Earth.
Yeah.
Did you know that
Mike's
there is,
Daily
at Mike's Daily Podcast, a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then we put in a lot of plastic between every single person. We are actually dressed in plastic. Anarchy! It is we look like the furniture that your grandparents had, covered in that rubber plastic stuff, so the cat doesn't and the dust doesn't accumulate on the furniture. Who came up with that idea? That did not really fly. I got a direct deposit available. Oh, wait, this is another, what do you call it, spam text. A direct deposit awaiting conditions. It's for Yola. Who the heck is Yola? This is what happens right when you start a podcast on a Wednesday, episode 2058. Today, we're going to hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley, and find out what the top body language mistakes are that you should make during your next conference call. I'm teasing the rest of this podcast so that you'll listen to the rest of it, because maybe you've tuned out at this point. All right, it wasn't really out of the gate really good, but you know what? Sometimes there's gates, and sometimes we got to try and think around them, because they're right in our face.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Oh, that reminds me of the Rodney King thing 20-something years ago. And the guy, Chief Gates, he was in charge of the LA Police Department. And that created that whole mess. And here we are again. History repeats itself because it has a bad memory. Just can't get that amnesia going on. So what it is we're back here at 2058. The episode podcast picture today is of an interesting walk I took in Podcastro Valley yesterday with my lovely lady friend. I think there'll be trees in this picture. Yes, Basil was not with us, unfortunately, because he can't walk. He was there in spirit. But then he ate a whole mess of kibble and he was happy. See that picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. So yes, we had here the top mistakes during your conference call. Video conferencing meetings can be exhausting. What are some of the biggest body language mistakes people are making? Well, some of what people are doing is the type of behavior you would see in real life. Before the pandemic, if you had a crazy day of back-to-back meetings, your body language would betray you. Interesting. And we do so many meetings in our world, don't we? Also because of stress and pressure. However, it can be a little more pronounced on Zoom because you're limited in what you see. You concentrate on what's in your field of vision. Then you have these emotional blips where you're pretending to be listening, but your mind is floating in a totally different direction. Emotional blips. You're pretending to be listening, but your mind is floating. And people pick up on that. People see that. And you may not even realize you're zoning until someone mentions your name and you remember you're in a conversation. Oh, wait, I'm on camera. Oh, dang it. So real life, you're always on camera, but you can see when people aren't looking at you. So you can kind of, I guess I'll zone out for this moment. But then on the Zoom, they see you all the time. Or there could be tension in somebody's face. Their nose will twitch like they've smelled something disgusting, or their eyebrows might shift, which makes them look angry. And that betrays what you're trying to portray, betraying the portraying. Sometimes you'll turn your head a little bit at an angle, which makes it look like you're not paying attention. Does it? Let me try that. I guess I'm not paying attention. I should have my head more cocked straight up and down. We only see ourselves when we're looking into a mirror. Are people more preoccupied with their own image because they're seeing themselves on screen with the zoom? Because the screen actually represents a mirror, you're checking your hair or makeup or making sure you don't have spinach in your teeth. So subconsciously, the brain just defaults to, I'm seeing myself in a mirror, and this is what I do. That's so true. People do that. When I get that Zoom face, I see the Zoom face when I'm watching a Zoom meeting. And people look like they're just looking in a mirror, like at home, like, they're not recognizing that other people are watching them in that moment. So that's the problem with seeing yourself. I have often hidden that little screen of myself looking at the camera. But when you see the celebrities on the talk shows, or when they used to be on the talk shows live in front of an audience, they would sometimes look off to the side of the camera and they'd see themselves in the monitor, and maybe they would comment on what they were wearing. Or they'd go, oh, I look like a big grape today. What can people do to keep these errors under control before they even happen? Well, before you even get on that video call, do some preparation so you'll look your best. Make sure that the lighting is in front of you. Oh, thank you. And it's amazing how even like celebrities, because everybody is Zooming these days on all the celebrity chat shows, that they don't realize you don't put the light behind your head, because then we don't see your face is all in shadow. We want to see your face. Don't they know that? That's what they see on the set all day. They got lights in their faces. I don't get it. You would think they'd know from common sense. Make sure that the lighting is in front of you, not behind you, and have some ambient lighting on either side of your laptop. Interesting, as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. This also says, stand up during video calls. Put books under your laptop to make sure that you're at eye level with the camera. Let's see, and what can you do to... what can people do who tend to talk with their hands a lot, even though the screen shows them from the shoulders up and you don't see the hands? It says, call up a friend or family member to practice before your meeting and make sure everything is how you want it. For a professional meeting, you actually don't want to be a head and shoulders distance from the camera, so take a step back so people can see you from the waist up. Your hands give a much different perspective, and you won't just look like a talking head. Great band. And a couple other these tips you can find from Wendy Helfenbaum. There you go. Okay. Outside a cafe anyway, let's say hi to some people. Hello, Michael Matthew. It's Madame Rootabega. Those are excellent tips. Oh! Yes. Zoning out on camera. People do that. And, it says, in real life, we tend to like meetings that are 30 minutes or an hour long, but try to be more efficient and wrap it up within 20 minutes so people don't zoom out and get Zoom fatigue. They don't zone out and Zoom fatigue. When you have like a gallery of 10 or 20 people in front of you on a video call, make sure that whether you're doing it around a conference table or a Zoom call, show that you're listening and you're engaged by nodding your head and smiling periodically. Let's see. An in-person meeting, you wouldn't sneak a look at your phone or motion for your kid or dog to get out of the office or be quiet. But on a Zoom call, people try to multitask and end up looking very fidgety. That's true. Okay, so, look who else is here right now. Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And it's a Bison Bentley. Do it! Mike, next time we do this, can we do this in a Zoom call day? Yeah, Zoom call. Do you know that? No. Madam, do you want to do a Zoom call? Yes. Oh, really? Do you like the way you look on Zoom? Yes. Would you ever try Skype? No. Oh. Yeah. It's interesting. People are all about Zoom and not Skype, even though Skype seems to have been predated the Zoom. Everybody was Skyping at one point, but no, not anymore. And now there's something called Life Size. I hear that works pretty good. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. What do you think about any of the topics we crossed? We jumped over the gate with. You can call me 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily is in what this podcast will try to continue to be. Thank you for listening. Take it away, A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!